Hey, English learners, welcome back to Slowburn English, the little corner of the internet where we slow down, breathe, and learn English the way real people actually speak it.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Liam. And today we're going to talk about a tiny phrase, just two small words. But honestly, these two words might be the most repeated little lie in the English language.
That's a strong opening, Liam.
I know, but it's true. Two words. You say them every day. Your friends say them. Your coworkers say them.
And the words are?
The words are, I'm fine.
Of course.
Of course.
But before we begin, we just want to take a moment to say thank you.
Yeah, really, thank you.
Thank you for your likes, your kind comments, your quiet support, and all the love you keep sending to this little corner of the internet.
It honestly means a lot to us. Every week we sit down to record and we know there are real people on the other side.
People who are tired after work, people who are walking home, people who are washing dishes with their headphones in.
People learning English on the bus.
People learning English at 11 p.m. when the house is finally quiet.
And every time we read a comment like, I listened to your episode 3 times this week, or your voice helped me feel calm today, we just kind of look at each other and smile.
Yeah, because that's why we make this podcast. Not to teach you grammar rules, not to give you a perfect score on the test.
But to keep you company while you grow.
Exactly. And speaking of comments, we read one last week from a listener. We won't say her name, but she wrote something that stayed with us all week.
She wrote, I started watching your show because I wanted to improve my English, but now I watch because I feel less alone.
Yeah, that one hit us, right?
It really did. And honestly, that comment is part of why we chose today's topic. Because what she said, I feel less alone, that's the opposite of I'm fine.
Oh, that's a beautiful connection.
Right? I'm fine is the wall. I feel less alone is the door opening.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
I'm laying the groundwork, Emma. I'm laying the groundwork.
We're getting emotional already, and we haven't even started the episode. People are going to say this intro was longer than their morning coffee break.
Possibly, but we mean it. To everyone listening right now, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being patient with your English. Thank you for being patient with yourself.
And remember, your English is under construction. Tiny steps, big changes. That's our promise to you.
Tiny steps, big changes. Okay, now let's actually start.
Yes, let's start.
So, Emma, I want to tell you something embarrassing that happened to me on Tuesday.
Oh, I love when episodes start like this. Go on.
Okay, so on Tuesday, I counted, just out of curiosity, I counted how many times someone asked me, how are you, in one single day.
How many?
6.
6?
6.
The barista at the coffee shop, your neighbor in the hallway, a coworker on Slack, another coworker in person.
A friend who called me at lunch, and the cashier at the grocery store in the evening.
Okay, 6 times. And how many times did you answer I'm fine?
All 6.
Liam.
All 6, Emma, the same 2 words, 6 times, like a robot. I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine. Doing fine. Fine. You? I'm good. Fine. Fine.
You basically had a fine marathon.
I had a fine marathon. And here's the thing. I wasn't even fine that day. I was tired. I had a small headache. I was thinking about a problem at work. None of that was fine.
But the word just came out.
The word just came out, automatically, like a reflex.
And honestly, everybody does this. You're not alone, Liam.
I know I'm not. That's why we're talking about it today.
Okay, so let's pause here, because what Liam just described, that's not really about English. It's about something deeper.
It is. Because I'm fine isn't really an answer. It's a polite way of saying, please don't ask me anything else right now.
Or sometimes it's a polite way of saying, I don't have the energy to explain how I really feel.
Or, I don't trust this person enough to be honest.
Or, I don't even know how I feel, so this is the easiest word I have.
All true. All very, very true.
So the question I want to put on the table today is this. And listeners, I want you to actually think about this one.
Here it comes.
What if I'm fine is the smallest lie we tell every day?
Oh,
Just sit with that for a second. The smallest lie. We don't think of it as a lie. It feels harmless. It feels polite. It feels like good manners.
But maybe it's also a tiny wall we build between us and the people around us every single day without even noticing.
Mmm. And here's the thing, we're not saying I'm fine is bad. Sometimes it's the right answer. Sometimes you really are fine. Sometimes the cashier doesn't need your full emotional report.
True.
But what if sometimes, just sometimes, there's a better answer, a more honest one, a more human one, a more interesting one for English learners to practice?
That's where we're going today. But before we go deeper, quick reminder, if you're enjoying this episode so far, please hit that like button. It's tiny, but it really helps us reach more learners like you.
And if you're new here, welcome. Subscribe to Slowburn English so you don't miss our weekly, slow, calm episodes for English learners who want more than just grammar drills.
And drop us a comment. Tell us, how many times did you say I'm fine today? Be honest, we won't judge. Your English brain goes to the gym every time you write a comment, and we read every single one.
This episode is at the B2 level, by the way, so expect some slightly more nuanced vocabulary. Words like composed, deflective, grounded. Don't worry, we'll explain everything in the episode and review it all in our word tour at the end.
Okay, let's go.
So let's start with a simple question. Why? Why did I'm fine become our default answer?
Good question. And I think the answer has a lot to do with what I call a wall that isn't there.
Ooh, tell me more.
Okay, so imagine you're walking down a hallway and you see someone you kind of know, not a close friend, just an acquaintance. They smile at you and say, "Hey, how are you?"
Right.
In that 1 second, your brain has to make a decision. Do you stop and have a real conversation? Do you tell them, "Actually, I had a hard morning, my coffee spilled, I'm worried about my sister, and I haven't slept well all week"?
No, you don't say that to someone in a hallway.
Exactly. So instead, you put up a wall, a polite, invisible wall. And the brick in that wall is the phrase, "I'm fine."
That's a powerful image. A wall that isn't there. Because the person walking past you can't see it, but you built it anyway.
And here's the thing, that wall isn't bad. Sometimes we need walls. We can't be deeply honest with every single person we meet. That would be exhausting and a little strange.
Sure.
But the problem is, after years and years of building these tiny walls, sometimes we forget how to take them down, even with the people we love, even with the people who actually want to know how we feel.
That's the real problem.
That's the real problem. The wall becomes the default. And honestly, that's where the word deflective comes in. To deflect means to push something away. So a deflective answer is one that pushes away the real question.
And I'm fine is the most deflective two-word answer in the English language.
Probably.
Okay, let me share something. This actually happened to me last month.
Go on.
So I was at a small cafe near my apartment, the one with the wooden tables and the slow jazz music in the background.
I love that cafe.
It's the best. Anyway, I was sitting alone reading when I looked up and saw an old friend from university. We hadn't seen each other in maybe 3 years.
Wow.
She came over, gave me a big hug, sat down, and the very first thing she said was, "Emma, how are you? It's been so long." And in that 1 second, I felt my brain go to the wall.
To I'm fine.
To I'm fine, and I almost said it. I almost said, "I'm fine, thanks. How are you?" Because that's the script. That's the safe answer.
But you didn't.
I didn't. Something stopped me, maybe because she was an old friend, maybe because she looked genuinely happy to see me. So instead, I took a tiny breath and I said, "Honestly, it's been a strange month, but I'm really glad to see you."
And what happened?
She leaned forward, her whole face changed, and she said, "Tell me about it." And we ended up talking for 2 hours.
2 hours from one tiny brave answer.
One tiny brave answer. Tiny steps, big changes.
That's the magic, right? When you replace the wall with one small, honest sentence, the whole conversation shifts.
And this is true for English learners too.
Yes, tell us more.
So when you're learning English, I'm fine feels safe because it's short, it's grammatically correct, and you can't really mess it up. But the moment you try just a tiny bit harder, it's been a long week, or I'm a little tired but okay, you sound more real, more human, more interesting to talk to.
And the people you talk to actually want to keep talking with you.
Exactly. Don't worry about being perfect. Worry about being a little more genuine. Your English is under construction, and that's okay.
Okay, so we've talked about why I'm fine became our default, but now I want to go a little deeper. Because the bigger question is, what does I'm fine actually hide?
I love this question.
Because here's the thing. When we say I'm fine, we're often hiding something more complicated. And the something can be very, very small. It doesn't have to be a tragedy. It can just be a slightly tired morning, or a quiet worry, or a passing sadness you can't quite name.
And actually, this connects to something fascinating in psychology.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
I am. So, researchers and psychologists have noted something they call emotional granularity.
Emotional granularity.
Yes, granularity comes from the word granule, which means a tiny grain. So, emotional granularity is basically your ability to tell apart the tiny grains of your own feelings. Instead of just, I feel bad, you can say, I feel disappointed, or I feel a little lonely, or I feel restless.
And why does that matter?
Because researchers have found that people with higher emotional granularity, people who can name their feelings more precisely, actually tend to handle stress better. They recover faster, they make calmer decisions, they feel more grounded.
So the more accurate your emotional vocabulary, the steadier you become.
Exactly. And here's the thing. I'm fine is the opposite of granularity. It's a giant, vague blanket thrown over everything you're actually feeling. Tired, anxious, hopeful, distracted, peaceful. All of it gets squashed into two flat little words.
That's a sad image, a blanket on top of everything.
It is a little sad.
Okay, this makes me think of another image. Imagine a cup of water on a shaking table.
Ooh,
A small cup full to the top with water. And the table is shaking, just a little, just gently. The water moves. It almost spills, but it doesn't. It just keeps moving in tiny waves.
I see it.
That cup of water is what's actually going on inside us when we say I'm fine. We're not empty, we're not broken, we're just full of small moving things. Tired waves, worried waves, hopeful waves, all in there, all real.
And the words, I'm fine, pretend the table isn't shaking at all.
Exactly. The words pretend the cup is still, but the cup is moving.
That's beautiful, Liam.
Thanks, I've been working on it. But honestly, this is where the word nuanced comes in. Something nuanced has small, careful differences inside it. A nuanced answer about how you feel doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be a little more accurate, a little more true.
Like, I'm okay, just a bit slow today. That's nuanced.
That's nuanced. It's not heavy. It's not oversharing. It's just one tiny step closer to the truth.
And again, this matters so much for English learners.
It really does.
Because when you're learning English, your emotional vocabulary is often your weakest area. You learn happy, sad, tired, good, bad, and then for years, you just bounce between those 5 words.
I remember being like that in Spanish. I'd say estoy bien for everything. Tired, estoy bien. Excited, estoy bien. About to cry, estoy bien. And then one day, a friend taught me some softer words, and suddenly my Spanish felt richer. I felt richer in Spanish.
That's the gift. When you learn one new emotional word, restless, grateful, uncertain, content, you don't just get a new vocabulary item, you get a new way to see yourself.
Learning to name your feelings precisely is learning to see yourself more clearly.
And the language you're studying right now, it can be the place where you start.
Tiny steps, big changes.
Okay, so I want to do something a little different in this part of the episode. I want to slow down and actually look at 4 different ways to answer the question, how are you?
Yes, because they all sound similar, but they are very, very different on the inside.
They are. So let's go one by one.
Number 1, the most famous one. I'm fine.
We've already talked about this one. I'm fine is what we call deflective. It pushes the question away. It builds a polite wall. There's nothing wrong with it, but it tells the other person almost nothing real.
It's a closed door.
It's a closed door. Number 2, I'm okay.
This one feels different already, doesn't it?
It does. I'm okay is what I'd call the honest minimum. It's still short, it's still safe, but there's a tiny crack of truth in it. When you say, I'm okay, you're admitting that you're not amazing, but you're also not dramatic. You're just okay, steady, surviving.
A door that's not open but not locked.
I love that. Number 3, I've been better.
Oh, this one I really like.
Same. I've been better is gentle truth. You're not pretending everything is perfect, but you're also not dumping a whole story on the other person. You're just saying, with restraint, that things are not at their best right now.
And the word restraint there is important. Restraint means holding something back on purpose, not because you're hiding, but because you're being careful and graceful with how much you share.
And I've been better is a beautiful piece of restraint.
It really is.
Number 4, the brave one. Honestly, today's been a long one. How about you?
The open door.
The open door. This one is the longest. It takes the most courage. But notice, it's still not heavy. You're not crying, you're not sharing your whole life story. You're just being a little bit real, and then you're inviting the other person to be a little bit real too.
And the magic of that small phrase, how about you, is that it gives the other person permission to be honest back.
It opens the conversation instead of closing it.
So 4 answers, 4 different doors. I'm fine is closed. I'm okay is unlocked. I've been better is half open. Honestly, today's been a long one. How about you is wide open.
And the beautiful thing is, none of these are wrong. You don't have to be wide open with everyone. You just have to know that you have choices. You have a whole shelf of doors, and you don't have to pick the same one every single time.
That's the point. You have choices. I'm fine is just one option, not the only one. Okay, so I want to share my own story here because what we're talking about isn't just theory. I actually tried this last week.
Tell me everything.
So you know how I told you about my fine marathon on Tuesday, 6 fines in one day?
How could I forget?
Right. So on Wednesday, the very next day, I made a tiny decision. I said to myself, today, I'm going to try just one different answer. Just one. Not all of them, not a big change, just one.
Tiny steps.
Tiny steps. So I went to work, and around 11 a.m. in the morning, my coworker Sam came up to me and said, "Hey, Liam, how's it going?"
And what did you say?
I took a tiny breath and I said, "Honestly, today's been a long one, but I'm getting there. How about you?"
And?
And Sam stopped. He actually stopped walking. He looked at me and he smiled, a real slow smile, and he said, "Me too, man, me too." And then he sat down across from me and we talked for 10 minutes about nothing important, about work, about sleep, about how Mondays feel like Wednesdays now. And when he stood up to leave, he said, "Thanks, Liam. I needed that today."
He needed that.
He needed that. And I realized something. The wall I had built with I'm fine wasn't just keeping my feelings inside, it was also keeping other people's feelings out. When I opened my door, even a tiny bit, Sam was finally able to open his own.
That's the part nobody tells you. When you stay closed, you don't just hide yourself, you accidentally tell other people they should stay hidden too.
Exactly.
Okay, this makes me think of another image, a tree with deep roots.
Oh, I love this.
So imagine a tree, a real, calm, steady tree in the middle of a field. The wind blows, the branches move, the leaves shake, but the tree doesn't fall because the roots underneath go deep into the ground. The tree is a person who knows how to be honest about what they feel. Not dramatic, not heavy, just rooted. The wind of the day blows through them, tired waves, worried waves, happy waves, and they sway, but they don't fall because they know what's underneath.
They know their own roots.
They know their own roots. And the funny thing is, I'm fine doesn't make you that tree. I'm fine is more like a wall standing in the wind. The wind hits the wall, and the wall has to pretend it isn't moving. But walls fall over more easily than trees.
A tree bends, a wall breaks.
A tree bends, a wall breaks. And the tiny brave alternatives we talked about, I'm okay, I've been better. Honestly, today's been a long one. Those are the things that grow your roots.
That is beautiful, Emma.
Thanks. I've been working on it. Touché.
And now for the English bridge, because this matters so much for learners.
Yes, tell them. When you learn English, you're not just learning grammar. You're not just collecting words. You're growing a new emotional language inside of yourself. And every time you choose a slightly more honest answer, even a small one, you're growing your roots in English.
You're not just speaking English, you're becoming yourself in English.
And that takes courage, because in your first language, you have years of practice being real. In English, you might feel like a beginner all over again. That's okay. That's beautiful, actually. You get to start fresh. You get to choose from the very beginning how genuine you want to be.
Tiny steps, big changes.
Tiny steps, big changes.
And before we close, let's slow down for our word tour and look again at some of the most useful words and phrases from today.
Yes, because this episode was all about how we hide our real feelings behind small, polite words and how to gently let more of the truth in. So our word tour today is full of beautiful, nuanced B2 words.
10 of them. Ready?
Ready.
And let's begin with a word that fits this episode beautifully. Composed.
Composed means calm and in control of yourself, especially in a difficult moment.
For example, she stayed composed during the interview, even when the questions surprised her.
Or, he's the kind of person who looks composed on the outside, but feels 1,000 things on the inside.
Repeat, composed.
Composed.
Next word, deflective.
Deflective means pushing something away, especially a question or a feeling. A deflective answer doesn't really answer. It just changes the subject or closes the door.
For example, his answer was polite but very deflective.
Or, I'm fine is the most deflective two-word phrase in English.
Repeat, deflective.
Deflective.
Number 3, nuanced.
Nuanced means having small, careful, important differences inside it. A nuanced answer is more accurate, more thoughtful, more true.
For example, her opinion on the topic was very nuanced.
Or saying, I'm a bit slow today is more nuanced than saying, I'm fine.
Repeat, nuanced.
Nuanced.
Number 4, grounded.
Grounded means feeling steady, calm, and connected to yourself, like a tree with deep roots.
For example, after her morning walk, she felt grounded and ready for the day.
Or, he has a grounded way of speaking even when the topic is difficult.
Repeat, grounded.
Grounded.
Number 5, dismissive.
Dismissive means treating something or someone as not important. A dismissive answer makes the other person feel small or unheard.
For example, he was dismissive of her idea and she stopped sharing in meetings after that.
Or, don't be dismissive of small wins. They add up.
Repeat, dismissive.
Dismissive.
Number 6, genuine.
Genuine means real, honest, not fake. A genuine smile, a genuine answer, a genuine person.
For example, her smile was genuine and you could feel it in the room.
Or, he gave a genuine answer instead of the polite version.
Repeat, genuine.
Genuine.
Number 7, restraint.
Restraint means holding something back on purpose, not because you're hiding, but because you're being careful and graceful.
For example, she spoke with quiet restraint, choosing her words carefully.
Or, there's a kind of beauty in restraint, saying less but meaning more.
Repeat, restraint.
Restraint.
Number 8, reactive.
Reactive means responding too quickly, often without thinking, often with too much emotion, the opposite of grounded.
For example, he gets reactive when he's tired.
Or, try not to be reactive in difficult conversations. Pause first.
Repeat, reactive.
Reactive.
Number 9, steady.
Steady means calm, stable, not shaking. A steady voice, a steady hand, a steady mind.
For example, her voice stayed steady even when she was nervous.
Or, I've been better, but I'm steady.
Repeat, steady.
Steady.
And our last word for today, number 10, presence.
Presence means really being there, fully, with attention, with care. When someone has presence, you can feel it in the room.
For example, she has a calm presence that puts everyone at ease.
Or when you stop hiding behind "I'm fine," you bring more presence to your conversations.
Repeat, presence.
Presence.
10 beautiful words, 10 tiny tools. Use them one at a time. Don't rush.
Tiny steps, big changes.
So before we go, I want to leave you with one thought. The next time someone asks you, "How are you?" pause. Just one tiny pause. And then, instead of the automatic answer, ask yourself, what's actually true right now? You don't have to share everything, but maybe, just maybe, you can share one small, honest thing. Not as a big change, just as a tiny one.
Tiny steps, big changes.
Tiny steps, big changes.
And tell us in the comments, what's your honest answer today? What's underneath your "I'm fine"? We'll be reading every single one.
So if this episode stayed with you today, we hope it also encouraged you.
In your English.
In your confidence.
And maybe even in the way you talk to the people you love.
Take care of your English.
And take care of your heart.
This is Liam.
And this is Emma.
And you've been listening to Slowburn English. Bye.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.